So Toshi, welcome. Talking with me. Thank you very much. It'll be great for all of us to what you tell us your journey on what you did and when you joined Endpoint.
Yeah, good morning. It's great to be here and to talk with you. I've been at Endpoint since September of 2019, so I'm coming up on 6 years in a couple months. So, I've been here for a long time, and actually, Endpoint is my first foray into IRT and RTSM, actually. So it's all kind of a roller coaster, really. When I joined, I was just completely green to everything. I started as an associate project manager, was really just kind of learning the ropes of everything. And then about 5, 6 months in, we had the global pandemic and we had a lot of these studies that were coming in that needed to be rush studies. So I really kind of, had my trial by fire and was really working around the clock to help with some of the early COVID vaccine studies. And that really, kind of boosted my skills, definitely boosted my own confidence in the organization, really got to kind of, know um, the greatest people, who have been here, since then even. So being able to kind of form those connections and those relationships within the organization was really cool. And ever since then, I feel like Endpoint has always at the core been an organization where I've been able to really create myself. Anything that I've kind of wanted to do, I've been really privileged to have a lot of cheerleaders in other departments, not just my direct kind of manager or anything, but people have always, supported me and said, if you want to do something, let somebody know because there will be 10 people behind you saying, yeah, let them do it. So it's been really exciting. I moved from associate project manager to senior project manager to technical lead project manager, and now I'm a client solutions program manager. Kind of all within 6 years. I think it's not that bad. So it's
It's
been
not bad
exciting.
at it's not bad at all. That's an exciting. Toshi, tell me, given that you were not in IRT business and now in 6 years, what are some key takeaways for you? Why IRT? What excites you about IRT?
Yeah, IRT and RTSM, when I first started, I really had no idea if I was going to like it or not. But, as I kind of took on the challenges of each and every day as a project manager working in operations and client services, I like the puzzle of it. It's never boring. Every day is kind of a new challenge. It's a new puzzle. It's kind of learning how to work with so many different people that I think comes a lot with, strong soft skills. I think that, like I said, with people supporting me here at Endpoint, no one ever, made me feel stupid or anything like that. Everyone kind of always knows that there's always more to learn. No one person knows everything, and we work as a team because of that. And we're able to kind of enrich each other because of that. We're able to share knowledge. We're able to share creative solutions, and I think that's always been really, kind of what drives me to be better is to, think of those solutions and share those solutions and get input and really understand how at the end of the day, what we do in tech, what we do within our teams here, we can really show that output back to the clients that we serve. And, ultimately our clients are serving patients that, um, this is life or
Yeah.
death for them, really. So it's so important.
No, that's a great approach to it. Tell me something as you have played the role of doing some project management work, now client solutions work. In that journey, what excites you the most? What makes you wake up every day and want to do this again and again? Which part of your job you really like doing?
Yeah, I think the most exciting is really just building the relationships, seeing um, internally the people that I've worked with and kind of, people don't have to stay at one place the entire time or anything. And I never fault anyone for wanting to, continue their own growth, right? Um, and I think that though, no matter where people have gone, some people, have left Endpoint and come back to Endpoint. Um, those relationships are kind of always going to be there. I still have people reaching out who I mentored, over the years, and they reach out on LinkedIn and say, "Hey, I just decided to break into this new field or go somewhere," and they kind of still say, a lot of the things that I feel confident about, I feel confident because, I worked with you and I worked with such a great team at Endpoint. And I think that that's really, really great. I think externally as well, being able to work with the clients that I work with, they've always just been so great, really understanding and being empathetic to what we do as well. And I think that that kind of realization of, knowing that we all have to work together and we all are trying to achieve the same goal is kind of that beautiful part of the relationships that we form. And yeah, I do feel like I will always have those relationships. I know that I will be able to uh, keep in touch with a lot of these clients that I work with, as well as the teammates that I work with, anywhere we end up in the next 5, 10, 20 years.
No, I mean, you're spot on. Networking and building those relationships are very critical. Let me ask you, with all these new and exciting things coming up on Pulse, tell me, I know you've been spearheading something very exciting. Tell me more about what's going on in the Pulse journey.
Yeah, so I've been working with Pulse, since I started working with a lot of 3-4 studies and now moving on to doing a lot of new template work for specifically BMS, one of our key accounts, and helping them move to a new template on the kind of 4.4 platform. So that's been really exciting, working on Pulse and really seeing how we can push the boundaries of Pulse, but at the same time thinking about new products like Elosity and how that relationship can stay strong, because we do have so many clients that will still be using Pulse and will need a little bit more time to move over to Elosity. It's about bridging that gap as well and making sure that the key features that people are looking for and that our clients want, I don't want them to feel left out, obviously. And I want to make sure that that kind of conversation between Pulse and Velocity continues. And, as we grow one, we grow the other as well. And I think that's really key and really exciting. And of course, in the future, as we completely make our move to Velocity, I think that that's going to be kind of the best thing that most people have ever seen in the realm of RTSM and IRT.
Yeah. Hey, given you're a very client-facing role, tell me a little bit about, from a client perspective, what is their expectation in an IRT vendor? Is it platform? Is it people? Is it process? Share with me some top things which customers expect a vendor to do, and how does Endpoint fulfill that?
Yeah, definitely. I would say the kind of number one priority of clients that I always hear about is quality. It has to be about quality. Sometimes we can, do a little bit less, but as long as we're remaining true to the quality and we're making sure that at the end of the day, we're not doing anything careless, right? That would endanger a study or the patients that are involved in that study. That's kind of the most important thing. So when we think about quality, it is so crucial that that kind of mindset and that kind of value is also instilled within the team, because I've definitely, seen and heard stories of, when the team doesn't care about quality and they're just trying to rush to get it out the door, kind of all of the bad things that happen later, right? We don't want kind of small band-aids anymore and short-term solutions. We always have to be thinking about the long-term solutions. And that can be really hard too to balance, especially with a client, because while clients want quality, they also have to work towards deadlines, but sometimes we do have to be firm and say, hey, we're the IRT experts and we want to make sure that, we are mitigating these risks for you so that ultimately you can have those quality systems that you need to ensure the data is correct for all of your studies.
Right. No, that's a very perfect point. Quality first. IRT systems, we're dosing, which could affect lives. And so making sure that quality is very important, is very critical. In addition to that, quality first mindset and, as you said, speed to meet deadlines. Anything else which you've faced in your customer interactions, which are top of mind for your customers?
Yeah, definitely with just customer service, I think in any industry, right? People want kindness. People want understanding and they want empathy. And I think that's really important because sometimes we do forget that, you know, there's a lot of jargon even within what we do. And sometimes clients can't understand that and they're just looking for a little bit of, sympathy to help them understand why they need to go in a certain direction. We are the experts and we're the consultants, really. We want to advise people in the right way. And there's things that we can definitely be on top of, like the technical side, and there's other things that we definitely need their input on, maybe more of the clinical science side of things. And so it's really being able to work as a team and be able to also kind of translate the language across the different fields, the different industries, and really always doing that, I think, with kindness. I think that definitely makes the relationship ultimately better. And when you're kind, people want to work with you, you know? So.
No, no, that's so good. I mean, you're giving me lots of nuggets of things. Build relationships, both internal and external. Be kind in your customer interface. Be quality focused. As you start to expand your journey, what are you looking from an endpoint? How do you want this organization to grow to meet your aspirations and needs?
Yeah, I think as I continue within the realm of IRT, I think at this point maybe I'm a lifer because, it's really something that has grown so important to me. And finding that, this kind of work is something that I'm pretty passionate about. I'm excited for Endpoint to just continue to grow and continue to, listen to the community and the organization kind of key stakeholders to see, how can we keep pushing the boundaries? How can we also creatively and critically think about solutions to problems that maybe our clients haven't even thought of yet? Kind of always thinking about that longer, bigger picture of, what are we doing to really put Endpoint kind of in the history books of IRT, making sure that we have that kind of legacy in the world of IRT and yeah, just being the number one kind of vendor for IRT and RTSM and all things related. Yeah.
No, that's a perfect vision. Thank you for elaborating that. I know you're a very hands-on person. You've started to work with Velocity. Give me, what do you like? How do you feel? Give me a little bit of a sense of your excitement around the product.
Yeah, I mean, Elosity, it's visually very appealing, much more appealing than Pulse, I would say. But as technology grows, there's so many different outlets, and it becomes almost an art form as well. And I come from an art background, which is something that also made me think, maybe I will not like tech, or maybe I won't, like the kind of normal 9 to 5 office job. But as I kind of really leaned into tech work and project management and all of this work at Endpoint, now I see all of the technology and all of the products as an art form.
Yeah.
And I have to give it to, all of the developers, design managers, testers, everyone working on Velocity has really made Velocity kind of a beautiful product. I mean, it's just visually appealing. It's meant to run very efficiently. It's meant to be intuitive. And, as we keep pushing that and we keep building and building and building it out to really respond to all of our customers' needs, right? And especially, as I said before, by being able to see those scenarios in which maybe our customers haven't even thought about yet, that's really going to make everything so seamless. And I know that from the client perspective, that's what they're looking for. In a lot of ways, when we use any kind of tech, we don't want to do the thinking anymore. We want it to just happen. We want the quality. We want the speed. We want it to all fall into place. And I really see Velocity as kind of our roadmap for allowing that to happen for not only our clients, but even internally as well, because it's going to change the way that we're going to be building our systems and building them, at a faster speed and at a better quality. So it's really exciting.
No, no, and you couldn't have said the excitement better. Um, One of the questions I had is if you were to give some feedback back to management or leadership, what would that be, and what should we continue to do to support the endpoint employees?
Yeah, I think definitely it's still about just leaving the channels open, leaving the forums open. We have so many different employees who come from different industries, who come from different IRT vendors, who have been here at Endpoint before and maybe have come back. So we have people who have seen kind of everything, which I think is one of the great things about our organization is that we have such unique individuals with unique experiences that can share a variety of different kind of feedback. And I think that, of course, we can't please everyone. That's the hardest part. But being sure that we have those kinds of channels, those forums, those town halls where people are being able to, feel safe and feel vulnerable to share their feedback, to share their experiences, and feel supported by it, I think is so important. And I definitely have seen that happening. So I think just continuing to do that as we go through so many changes and we're going through a growth period. Just having that and being able to support our fellow employees, our fellow colleagues, is going to be so important as we really um, kind of get deep into the weeds and figure out what is the best way for the most people. Unfortunately, we can't please everyone, but that's the trick of it,
Yeah.
kind of figuring out the best balance.
You said it well. Having open communication, open channels, transparency in the leadership is very critical, and definitely something for all of us to take on and make sure that we are creating that safe zone for good and open and transparent communication. So, Toshi, if you were to advise somebody who's going to be joining Endpoint, what would be your pitch? Why should they join and be your colleague?
Oh yeah. I mean, Endpoint really is a great place to work because of the people. And I think I mentioned a little bit earlier, even when I was coming on to Endpoint, nobody will make you feel like you're not meant to be here. Nobody will make you feel like you're not smart enough or you don't know enough. There's always opportunities for people to learn more, and people understand that, and people are so kind of graceful, about that. I think definitely for anyone who wants to come to Endpoint, also don't be afraid to just talk to anyone. You know, I feel that in other places, sometimes it feels like there's a wall or a fence where, oh, I can't talk to this person because they're too high up, but I found that, just go for it. You'll be surprised how kind people actually are and how willing people are to help you.
Fantastic. No, you've been a wonderful brand ambassador, and I would say that you've summarized it well. You said, it's all about the relationship and people. Endpoint is about that. It's about focus on the customer, delivering quality. How do we bring innovation and things to our customer, but at the end of it, being true to each other, making sure that we're having transparent communication, being in a safe zone for each other to learn from and grow. Satoshi, thank you so much. This was an
Yeah, absolutely.
amazing discussion, and I couldn't have asked for a better discussion with somebody here. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sheree.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.